Thank you for being on our program, ladies and gentlemen. This is part of this show is to highlight a wonderful author. He's recently written the book, and we're going to go back and find out what motivated him to do this. And this is his life chronicle of his adventures. And we're just so thrilled to highlight the book. We also want to make this program part of Latina Heritage Month 2017. So you'll have the opportunity to see this program twice. Now, we were able to connect. We've been working with this, and our friend here, Mario A Vazquez, who wrote the book, Mario From The Barrio, we were having troubles connecting. You know, it's really a unique thing. And a family member stepped forward and he says, you know, I'll put you guys together. And one of his nephews did. And Adam Pastorek, who is in Michigan, helped us to put all this together. So we've got Adam on the show. And also Adam's going to help us to highlight issues that he knows about the book and issues that he can help us to also to clarify about Mario as well. So Mario From The Barrio. So first of all, let's bring in Adam, because Adam is in Michigan, and we'll see his background, how he sees this whole book process from his uncle. So Adam, thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much, Armando.
Now tell us about his writing from your perspective. You know, you found out and you maintained contact with him, and you're helping to put the show together. Tell us about what you know, and what, you know, I'm sure there's many things for him to share, but that you want to share from your perspective.
Yeah, for me, it's almost like if I read the book, it's going to be things I think, yeah, Mario did that. But for everyone else, it's going to be things that, wow, how did he? You have to be lying. That's ridiculous. But to me, it's kind of like, it's just another grandpa thing. Even though, not that I don't believe him, but he has been so influential, it's kind of hard to believe that I am related to someone who's had that much influence.
So tell us a couple of things that stand out in your mind about his book.
So for me, it really, to be honest, starts at the beginning. I did not know originally how he grew up or what conditions he grew up in. It was mostly relayed to me by my mother, Mario's daughter. So it sounded like it was really troublesome, the race issues and just basically everything. There's a lot of problems that it took a lot of work to get over. And I'm really glad I don't have to go through that mainly. I'm thankful for that. But really every step of the way is something that Mario helped make so that I don't have to go through these kind of problems.
Okay. Well, let's switch over to Mario. I know he's sitting there doing a lot of little things on there in his office. Mario, thank you for being on our program.
I'm very honored. I don't talk to too many people as professional as you.
Let's go back. When did you get the idea of writing this book? I guess I'll ask you your age back then. And what made you bring the book into fruition?
Well, actually, it was a long road to where I finally got to the peak of my helping with the civil rights movement. And of course, my daughters have been asking me, what did you do before? Everybody doesn't really know the problems that we went through back in the barrio, back in Del Rio, San Felipe Barrio in Del Rio, Texas, where we were, as I said in my book, the first what I remember one time about my dad, he was selling ice from the back of a wagon, block ice pulled by horses, and we thought nothing of it because it was part of existing and supporting 5 boys. And as we went along, going to segregated school, all Mexican kids, in the Mexican barrio, where the previous, years before, we couldn't go to high school unless we went across town. And in 1929, my dad and my grandfather and other people petitioned the state of Texas that we had to have an independent school district, and all the kids were all Mexican American kids, and we excelled. And of course, after we graduated, we got college credits because of our academic subjects. We did not take any other courses. It was all straight academic. And for a little Mexican school where we had to learn the basics of science and math and language, English, and even Spanish. And we spoke Spanish, but we had to, just like English, you have to take English subjects and you speak the language. But after I graduated and came to California, of course, I came down in '44 as a migrant picking fruit. Everybody was out fighting during the World War II. And after we came back to California, I joined the Army, ended up in Japan for 2.5 years with the occupation of Japan. And coming back and getting involved with the local citizens in San Jose, California. And we got in with the civil rights movement, and that was a big step forward to our community. Beginning with a food drive to serve the poor, to getting civic organizations to show that we could do it, and we did. And through the civil rights movement, I ended up with an invitation by the president to come up to the White House and meet him at the Oval Office. But in between there, I was in El Paso with the Mexican-American cabinet hearings on Mexican-American affairs, and we were involved, well, not really involved, but we were indirectly involved with the Chamizal settlement that was 100 years in the making about where the Rio Grande was and what belonged to Mexico and what belonged to the United States.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we were involved. I got a medallion from the president for that settlement. There's only a few that were minted and a few that received it. And the day after that I met with the president at the Oval Office, I was invited by Dr. Hector Garcia to come up to the United Nations. And I ended up sitting with him on the assembly floor with the U.S. delegation. And I didn't know what the heck I was doing there. I said, what am I doing here? So after being bombed out, I come back home, and one of my friends, my brother, was having a party, so I walked in there and he said, what'd you do this weekend? He said, give me a double shot, and how much time do you have?
I don't think anyone would believe you at that time.
I know, and we never did stop. We actually, I was one of the organizers of the Southwest Council of La Raza, which is now the National Council of La Raza.
Wow.
And I was also with the Southwest Intergroup Relations Council, trying to get the Indians and American Indians and the blacks and the whites and the Mexicans. And I sat down with Indian chiefs. I sat down with black leaders from the Southern Baptist Church and professors from Texas University Law School. And it has been a whirlwind affair, but overall it was worth it, because we showed that we that were raised in the poor barrios could climb up the scale and stand up to the best.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let me take you back to, you came out of the Army and you were in San Jose. I'm trying to put this in. Okay, tell me exactly, was it an idea? Did somebody come up to you? Did you have the idea? What exactly happened that got you involved in el movimiento of the time?
Well, it was the American GI Forum.
Oh, okay. All right. And that's from Texas.
And
Okay.
from there, there's a lot of other social clubs, and we all decided we get together and like the United Food Bank, we organized the Foundation for Community Development, Research and Community Development. We organized a Mexican American savings and loan, which the American saving bought out from us.
Wow.
And of course, once we organized, went from there, we went to the Southwest. Ford Foundation gave us a grant to organize the Southwest Council of La Raza to help the people in the Southwest.
Wow.
And it just blossomed to what is now the National Council out of Washington, D.C. And in time, of course, we got burned out because that's what all we were doing. I was flying out just about every weekend to some place in the United States for conferences and what have you, and it was all to help the people, the Mexican American people.
Well, let me get back to Adam on this question and see, you know, Adam's been listening on the background. What's Adam's take on what has been presented so far? Adam?
So I have heard a bit of this. Like Mario said, it's more of hearsay to me. However, I know that it has been a long battle for sure. I've never gone through troubles like this, but for me, it's how should I say? It's once again something that I have not had to deal with, and I know this is why. It's because people have been fighting for it, but. I can't really imagine how much work really went into all of the civil rights issues that he went through.
You know, Adam, if I may interject and help me with this, you know, a little bit. And Mario, let's sort of dialogue a little bit about this, and then we're going to get back into your book. When I think Polish, and I think organizations, first thing that comes into my mind is the idea that the Polish people really brought down the Soviet Union. It was the organization and the strikes in Poland that just really undertowed the bringing down of the Soviet Union. And being that your background, Adam, is Polish, so I mean you're part of two major worlds. Where social activism, oh my God, I mean, they changed the world.
I agree. And that's actually why I brought it up in the first place, was that these were major civil movements in very separate places of the world. The struggles were different, of course, but they were still so important that it was enough to change everything for a certain people, because there was no reason to I don't want to say discriminate, but
go ahead.
That's what it is. I mean, that's what it comes down to, where a certain people know that that's what is going on, so they brought it up and they fought for what they thought was right. And it's just like you said, it is a pretty similar circumstance, different objectives, different outcomes, of course, but it is very humbling to me that this is how I got here.
Well, you come from great roots, and the idea is you come from activists, and that's, gosh, that's, you know, it's this kind of people that change the world. Coming the show back to Mario. Mario, you know, when did you decide to sit down and actually start writing the book?
Right. Well, probably after I was thinking about writing some before I even got up to the peak, because when I start thinking back about the fights we had back home to try to get our education, And then we in 1941 we played the white people across the town, and we beat them. And before we got 2 blocks away, they were waiting for us, so the big riot started. And then as it times went on, then they decided to wait a minute, we're gonna desegregate the school. So when they did they segregated the school in 1968 or 1972, I think it was, because I gave them a commencement address to high school, and that was an honor in 1969. So in 72, they decided to desegregate, and they sent us, the Mexican school, all the black, which were not many, because the black could only go, had a one-room school in our barrio, and I only could go to the 8th grade, and that was it. So then, of course, when they desegregated, they sent all the black kids, and all the lily white that were in the Army Air Forces. We have an Air Force base there. They were sent to the other school. Well, then now we got black kids that are excellent in sports, and you mix them with the Mexican kids, and all, so we beat the hell out of everybody. And then they said, wait a minute, this ain't gonna work. So then they decided to desegregate the whole school and make it into one school for the whole town. And that created a lot of problems, because now they're transferring kids all over the place. Our high school became a middle school. They chopped it down. We, after the war, at 10 cents a brick, built a big stadium, and then they decided they needed, once they joined the whole one unified one school district, they tore down the stadium to make parking for the teachers. And they cut off our auditorium, which we had about 500 seats that we did a lot of performances. And it really, they took out the school, but they didn't take out the spirit. We are having a reunion this year, and the first time I took my daughter in 1978, she got hooked that she said she wanted to be an honorary member of the school. And that my daughter, of course, is Adam's mother. So they're hooked up. They're all going. I'm going to take my daughters from my other daughter from Arizona, my granddaughter, and we're all going to have a family reunion in Del Rio, Texas, in the barrio San Felipe.
Mario from the Barrio. Mario, do you have a picture of the book so we can all see it? Please. Oh, that is so cool. If you can draw it back a little bit sideways, we can get a little clearer picture of it. There you go.
Let me show you a picture that you'll find in there.
Ah, President Johnson.
Right.
President
Now let me show you.
Wait. Let me see the picture again. And the person on the left, is that Reverend Jesse Jackson?
Johnson.
No, that's someone else. That's a beautiful picture. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it.
Now here's another one that you might want to see. This is
oh, wow.
at the United Nations with the United States delegation.
Wow. That is so cool.
And if you want to see,
Adam, have you seen these pictures before?
I have seen them, actually.
Oh, that is so cool.
this was when I was in line for the VIP with Hubert Humphrey.
Ooh, Grandpa, move it so it's like in front of your face, so then we'll see the whole picture. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Wow.
And this is just another kind of a pineapple.
Yeah.
This is with Ronald Reagan.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And all these pictures are in the book.
So did you ever imagine that you would be in the middle of all this political center, political gravitation?
Never, but once we got involved with Dr. Galarza, Ernesto Galarza, and Bert Corona, and all the my friend Sister Chavez, and I got a short-handed hoe when we. But this is all surreal because I was with, I don't know if you ever heard of Ernesto Galarza. He was one of the guys that involved in everything. Vicente Jimenez from New Mexico. He was actually appointed to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. He was the director, and he was the one that was President Johnson said we're going to have a Mexican American cabinet hearings in El Paso, and then I got involved in that. I was monitoring the health, education, and welfare.
Jesus Christ!
And it's a lot of I had a little lady show up, and this is with just a plain gingham dress with a bun in her hair, and she wanted to give the talk in the hearings, and she was always behind. They told me just take so many hearings. So anyway, when they said President Ordaz and President Johnson are coming in, and we're going to ferry you to the airport to meet them, this lady got in the car in a bus with me, and she said, "Where are you from?" And she's about 5 foot tall, and she says, "Well, I'm from Santa Clara." Just, oh, I remember Santa Clara. I used to clean houses when I went to the university, and then I got my Bachelor of Arts degree, and then I went to Stanford to get my master's degree, and I was getting shorter, and she was getting taller. Just after I graded there, I went to Columbia University where I got my PhD and taught for 15 years until I retired. By that time, I said, oh, God, she's a foot taller than me. And I learned a lesson, never judge a person by her looks. So when we got back to the hearings, and she was still behind, I says, I'll have one more hearing, somebody else to make, and I want that lady behind to come up and talk. And she was excellent. I learned my lesson. There's a lot of people out there that don't show who they are, but you have to respect you have to respect them. And I learned that lesson of a lifetime. Don't judge people by their looks.
Excellent point. I want to take a second also to thank Dave Gutierrez. Him and I have been emailing. I've never met him, but we emailed each other. And he told me about you, and he told me about your book and your background. And I was just so excited. And I want to acknowledge and thank him for his help to make this possible as well. And as we're getting close to ending the show, we want to do two things. Adam, I also want to get back to you right now. And, as you're hearing more and more of these stories, I want to get your input. What are you thinking? What's going through your mind about all this?
Well, to be honest, a lot of this stuff is stuff that I have heard about before. And like I said, it's kind of, oh yeah, I remember that. And for Mario, maybe, well, the way I hear it from Mario is that it's just part of his life. But like you said, for him, it was something he would never expect. And he just became part of it. So he thinks that he was part of the circumstance, maybe, but Mario is definitely very influential on, or he took the torch up in some way on this movement, whether he thinks of it that way or not. At this point, I mean, the evidence shows itself. But it is very interesting, and I learn little tidbits all the time about this kind of stuff.
And he's passing on the torch to you.
Yes, exactly. I have a big shoes to fill for sure.
You sort of inherited. You read the book, and you're gonna have to figure out how to keep the torch.
I know. Going. Yeah. Gotta keep it in my back pocket, maybe.
It's probably biting at you somewhere behind your back, and I think that That might have been Mario's intent for writing the book.
Maybe, yeah.
What a sneaky guy, huh? That's wonderful. Let me get back to Mario. Mario, can you show us your book one more time, please? Mario from the Barrio.
This is the creek on the front of the book. That is the creek that divided our barrio from the downtown. And it's a beautiful creek, and we claimed it ours because they wouldn't let us use the city swimming pool. It was for whites only. So we kept the whites out of our creek. Along the way, on one of my this intergroup relations council, I was speaking with some Indian chiefs from the Apache, Navajo, and the Whitefoot and Blackfoot tribes, and Cherokees, and it was amazing how all this we were all getting together to unite the Southwest racial problem, and it didn't succeed. Maybe the lack of leadership. But we did succeed in other parts. We didn't set back. We did what we wanted to do. I never thought when I was in the barrio, Mocoso, and hand-me-downs and everything, that I was ever going to leave town, and all of a sudden I'm all over the place in Europe and even to Russia. And I come back and I said, geez, I've been a hell of a long places. And that's going to be another book. Travels by Mario.
Oh, that is fantastic. Now, is this book already available out in the stores, or is it going to come out?
The book is going to be ready in about 10 days. It should be published. They told me that they would deliver about the 15th or the 16th of this month.
And we're talking right now May 2017, so that'll be a period of time. So
it'll be out by then. We're talking about the 15th or 16th should be ready. I should receive my copies.
All right, and Adam's going to make sure that everybody knows about the distribution of the book, right, Adam?
Yep, exactly.
Okay, because I need to get on that list. I need to know ASAP.
Yep.
Right.
So we're good.
I have to get your address so I can send you one.
Oh, you got it. Oh my God, absolutely. I mean, I'm just thrilled to death about it and all that. As we're getting ready to close the show, we're gonna continue the same system. We're gonna let Adam react and share his thoughts and his closing statements, and then we're gonna go to Mario and his closing statements, and then I'll close the show. So, Adam, your thoughts. You represent the familia, so no pressure. Go for it.
Yeah, thanks. To me, it's a bit inspirational that my grandpa's writing a book, and it's something that's really important. I mean, it took a lot of work, not just the writing of the book, but the reason the book exists, that all the experiences he's gone through. This is all an account of history, really. So I'm really happy that I can enjoy something that my grandpa has produced. Not just
you're getting suggestions from the back. I can hear that.
yeah. I'm happy he's my grandpa. Yeah, I am, but that's not my words.
Well, let me share with you, Adam. Thanks to you and all your techie work, you were able to put the show together. So in a way, you're the producer of the show behind the scenes.
Well, thank you for having me on your show, Armando.
Thank you very much. And Mario, back to you. And I want to thank you, and I want to applaud you for sharing the story, because I think your book is not only about your experiences, but you're telling other people that they can also do it. They can also, no matter, like you say, no matter how poor you are, they won't let you play in the pool, but you can go play in the river. No matter where you come from, you can still take a leadership role, and you can still make a difference. And that's what I'm picking up from your book.
Well, right now back in my barrio, we are working on putting an arch that says San Felipe Barrio. It's a big arch coming into the barrio, so the people that come in are welcome. We have a plaza that was built back in 1908, where we have all our festivities. And Andy Porras, one of our uh, teachers and ex-students and everybody, he was in San Diego and he saw an arch that says Logan Park. And he said,
Yeah.
they can do it, why can't we? Well, we already have everything going. We're raising funds, and hopefully it'll be done this year. Because we're proud of our barrio. A lot of us, a lot of us succeeded quite uh, very successful in education, in medicine. My classmates, one was a pharmacist, one was became a medical doctor, and several teachers, and it was just our school produced against the odds that people did not think we would. I'm
Wow.
proud of what I did. I helped everybody. I didn't look for the only Mexicans, but whoever needed help. And that's what life is about. As I said, don't try to be above or below anybody. If it's high, reach up to their level. If it's low, get down to the level. Don't incriminate. Be honest, and just tell them how you feel and how you can help them. Because someday you're gonna need help, and they will be there to help you.
Excellent words. Excellent words. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had the honor of having two wonderful persons and their family members, and Adam over in Michigan, and Adam Pastoric, and from different backgrounds and different experiences, and seeing Grandpa, what he's going through. And, I would think, it would inspire me also to eventually write a book also. So we're going to have follow up with Adam and see where his book comes about. Or maybe, he'll use the new generation. He'll do it on a production work side, because nowadays you guys have so many outlets to share so much information. So Adam, thank you very much again for putting the show together. Without your help, this would not have happened. And again, the book, Mario R. Vazquez, Mario from the Barrio. The book will be out by mid-May 2017. And I'm on the list. I'm on the list to get the book, so all that. But what I'm getting from this whole book and the whole story for Mario is that you can make a difference. You can go out, and if you put your ideas that you're going to go out and help change society, it can be done. And no matter if anybody calls you from somewhere that you're from that people think you're less than anyone else, it can be a source of strength instead of a weakness. That you can come from an area that you say, I understand that it's important to help each other, and we have to all lift each other for a better tomorrow. So I'm very, very touched by the book. I'm very touched by your words, Mario. And again, Adam and Familia, I want to thank everyone for doing the show. Dave Gutierrez, another shot for you for making the show possible. And please, ladies and gentlemen, look for the book immediately, Mario from the Barrio. And I want to thank both of you. Mario, again, thank you for being on the show.
It's a pleasure. And it's great meeting you on the show.
Wonderful. Mario, if I can say one more tiny little thing. You brought me something very, very special today. You remind me of my dad.
Oh.
I don't know why, but you have. And in some small way, I feel like I'm talking to my dad.
Well, I think I also feel like I'm talking to my son, because you're really, you showed so much emotion and so much professionalism that I'm very proud to have met you, even under the circumstances. Someday we'll cross paths.
It's a small world. That I do believe all the time. So thank you very much for being on the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Armando F. Sanchez. I'm the CEO of the program. If you have any questions, contact me on Twitter, Facebook, God knows what other social medias out there, LinkedIn. And look me up, Armando F. Sanchez, or you can contact me directly at lsacnational@hotmail.com. And please grab the book immediately, read it to yourself, let your grandkids read it, let other family members, and then write your own story. Write your own story. We all want to know what it is. Thank you very much, and adios.
Adios.
Thank you.